Welcome to our posts. Today we will see stories of am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my cousin and getting us kicked out of a restaurant? I, 25 female, don't have kids yet. I never really wanted them growing up, but I figure I'll eventually have kids in the future once I get my life together. My cousin Sarah, 29 years old, has two bad-behaved kids from a previous relationship and a newborn baby with her boyfriend MJ, 40 years old. Last night my mother, sister, Sarah, and I went to a sushi restaurant, and this was my first time having sushi. After we ordered, I had a hard time using the chopsticks. My cousin started obnoxiously laughing. The waiter came over and asked me if I wanted training wheels, which is a little plastic item that attaches to the chopsticks and helps you hold them in place. My cousin laughed and said sorry about her, she constantly embarrasses herself and us. I just gave her the side eye and put the training wheels on. When it was time to order desserts, her boyfriend MJ finally joined us, claiming that he was busy. She went on to tell him how stupid and slow I was for not knowing how to use chopsticks and how the waiters and everyone around now know that I'm an embarrassment. My mom asked her what her problem was, and she goes on a rant about how I'm so embarrassing and it's no wonder I'm jealous of her being a mother and no one wants to have kids with me. I finally had enough. I said I don't have kids because I don't want them to come out like you're rude pieces of crap and you're calling me an embarrassment? Didn't MJ just have a baby on you with his wife? Your baby literally has a sibling a week apart from her. You probably learned how to use chopsticks by eating his wife's leftovers. I guess when she was attacking me it was fine because everyone turned on me. It got so loud that management had to get involved. Sarah was screaming and crying, MJ was yelling at me, and my mom and sister were berating me for being mean. Management brought the bill and told us to please pay it and leave. My mom paid the entire bill, but my sister said I'm an a-hole for embarrassing Sarah and getting us kicked out, and how she's probably going through postpartum depression. Now I don't know if I went too far, seeing as she's probably going through some post-baby stress. Am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for not being upset that my friend's dog could die because of me? I was hosting a big garden party at the weekend. I invited my entire friend group plus their partners. One of my friends takes her dog everywhere. I told her no pets were allowed. Although it was a garden party, we were in and out of my home and I have 4 cats. My cats do not like dogs and neither do I. Anyway, my friend showed up with her dog. I told her that her dog was not welcome in my home or garden, and asked her to please take her dog home or elsewhere. I thought my friend left. I went inside to sort some things out. I went into my garden about 15 minutes later and my friend was standing there in my garden talking to our friends. She doesn't live that close, so I was confused. I went to ask her how she got back so quickly. She told me she just popped in and was going since her dog isn't welcome. I asked her where her dog is and she shrugged her shoulders and said he was around. I went looking and found him at the bottom of the garden eating my crops and making a mess. I was angry and told my friend to get her dog off my property. A few hours later, she called me asking me what her dog ate. I had no clue. My gardener plants and attends everything. I told her I didn't know, but told her he'd made a huge mess, dug things up and clearly eaten things. She shouted at me that her dog is sick and that I need to find out what the dog ate. I told her I had no idea, but I texted my gardener to ask, but it was really her problem. I did send the text, but my gardener didn't answer. My friend called again wanting to know what her dog ate, but I told her I still didn't know. She told me I obviously don't care if her dog dies and called me an a-hole. I still don't know what her dog ate, but apparently he is very sick and might die. I feel bad, but I told her not to bring her dog on my property so I don't feel responsible like she says I am. Am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for removing the fun stuff from my room at my mom's and leaving it at my dad's because my stepsister sleeps in there when I'm with my dad? My parents are divorced. I split my time 50-50ths between both houses. My mom has been remarried for a number of years now and has 3 stepkids. 2 boys who are younger and a girl the same age as me. She and I got along so badly that the custody times were switched, so we were not in the house at the same time because we could not get along. It all started with her taking my favorite plush animal without permission and ruining it. The eyes were gone and it got soaked, which ruined the color. When I told her she shouldn't have taken it, she made it her mission to take my stuff without asking and rarely had any consequences for it because I was told to share. Some of the stuff was fine, but other stuff got ruined too. When my mom told me that she would still sleep in the room after the change in custody when I wasn't there, I knew I did not want the important stuff left at my mom's, so I took it all to my dad's with me. I was 12 at the time. This was only discovered a few weeks ago. Apparently dear old stepsis has been trying to find the goods for years, but it was when her dad said I should have a game console there, that was given by my grandparents, and they couldn't find it. They realized what I had done. I was confronted by my mom and her husband, and I admitted it. I told them I didn't trust that girl with my stuff and moved it all to safety. My mom asked how stuff is safe when my dad has 2 stepsons at home. I said because they're not allowed to go through my stuff and because they're good guys who wouldn't do that. My mom's husband was like, "What are you saying about my daughter?" I told him that he's known for years what we think of each other. Mom called my grandparents and asked what they thought of the console going to my dad's. They said they were fine with it. At least it was safe. Mom told me I should have told them my concerns and worked out a better solution than pretty much emptying my room. She also said surely there is stuff I am willing to share. I said not with stepsis. Mom told me I wasn't being very fair, and how are we ever going to have a good sister relationship if we don't trust each other? I told Mom we won't, because we're not sisters, we will never be sisters, and I don't ever want to be. My mom and her husband think I'm an a-hole for doing this, so I gotta ask, am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for splashing women with water at the pool? I am 31 years old woman. Swimming is my hobby and how I keep healthy. My favorite swimming pool is local university pool. As a graduate I have access, but they also have community hours when people from the town can pay and swim. It doesn't do lane swimming, but typically everyone knows to stay away from those doing laps. I was doing laps at the far end with the pool wall on my side, so I couldn't move if I wanted to. I was mid-session when 2 women my age jumped right in front of me and just stood there by the wall on the shallow end. I couldn't stop in time and pushed from the wall between them, forcing them to move aside. I was being more careful next lap, but they just kept standing there. There was plenty of space on the other side of the pool where they could stand and chat without bothering anyone, but they chose to stand right in front of me. So I continued swimming, pushing from the wall. If they refused to move, I just turned in water, making sure to make a big splash. I took a break to drink some water, and one of them started screaming at me how I got her hair all wet. Told her it's her fault and continued swimming. She waited for me in the changing rooms and went on about how I was inconsiderate and I ruined her hair. I told her to F off. She started going off at me and started screaming, calling me an a-hole. I grabbed my stuff and went to one of the cubicles to have a shower and change. When I was leaving, they were talking to the manager. One of them was crying about her hair. I told my sister and she thinks I was an a-hole, but I didn't think so before. Now, with my sister agreeing, I worry that I might have been. Am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my friend's proposal disrespectful? Alright, so here's the deal. My friend, 27 male, decided to propose to his girlfriend of 3 years, Dina, 26 female. The two met at a bar pre-COVID, and were just chatting at first, but it quickly led to more, and eventually the two of them moved in together and discussed marriage. Personally, I think they're a great match, and my friend, Steven, has never been happier. He told me that he was planning to propose to Dina, and I was ecstatic. Well, the day of the proposal hits, and I called Steven the next day, which was last night, to congratulate him. But he wasn't happy. He told me that Dina had said no. I was shocked and asked if he knew why. He said that she didn't like how he proposed. Now here's the thing. I knew he was going to pop the question, but I didn't know how he was going to do it. He thought it would be romantic to propose at the place they met, yes. A bar. Already I could kind of see why she might not like that, but I decided to ask her privately because she and I have gotten to be close. She confided in me that it's because she told Steven multiple times that she didn't want to have a public proposal, and that she was horrified he would do it at a bar of all places, and that she felt disrespected that he didn't accommodate that. I told Steven that his proposal was honestly really disrespectful and seriously kind of messed up, To which he told me I was being an insensitive a-hole and should be supportive as his friend rather than talking down on him, but I don't know if I'm wrong here. Am I the a-hole for calling my friend's proposal disrespectful? Next story. Am I the a-hole for getting a pregnancy craving during a party? I 29 female am pregnant with my boyfriend Sam 32. Sam and I went to a party for his family. No momentous occasional, just a normal family get together. During my pregnancy I have had intense cravings. While we were at the party, I told Sam I was craving a slushie. About 30 minutes away. We had just arrived about 20 minutes prior. He said to give him a little while and we'd go get one. After about 30 more minutes I said it again to Sam. He said fine, get in the car. On our way there we got into an argument and he thinks the craving could have waited a couple hours. He's now mad at me we have to leave the party early. We see his family 2 to 3 times a month, sometimes more, and I don't think it's a big deal to leave when I have a craving. Am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for not making child-inclusive plans that someone in my friend group can't attend? Howdy guys, recently my friend group has been divided on an issue. I have a group of 6 friends and their significant others from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s. The only person in our friend group is Jessica, who has 2 young children and is a single mom. I'm the only person in my friend group that can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and don't have anything stopping us from hosting, I guess. One doesn't want to host, 2 live with their parents and can't, another has roommates that won't let them, etc. We all live in a rural area, so there isn't really anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner, so someone hosting is the only way we can all hang out really. When I host it's always later in the day, around 7 p.m.-ish. That's when most of us are off work. I also have a no children rule for my house, since my dog is afraid of children and I honestly don't like kids anyways. My nephew yanked my dog's tail several times, so now my dog growls at kids. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinner time barbecue. Everyone was invited, same rules as norm. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids, because she can't afford a babysitter and since both of their dads aren't involved at all. I said no, because of my dogs and also because I don't want her baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them she kept trying to push them off on other people who didn't want to hold them so she could relax. Also her toddler puked on my 5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Jessica blew up on me in the group chat and said that I always exclude her. I told her I'm not excluding her, I'm excluding kids. All kids. She's welcome to come if she finds someone to watch her kids. I also told her she's welcome to host. She kind of went on about how none of that is possible and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our group is split, half think it's my house, my rules. One said maybe if she screwed better guys she'd be able to have a babysitter. And 2 think that I should just let her kids come. To be honest, if it was someone else I would maybe cave. But I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. Am I the a-hole for making child-not-friendly plans that someone in my friend group can't make it to? Next story. Am I the a-hole for not cooking a Western enough meal when having guests over? My boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 21 female, have recently hosted a dinner at his place with some of his co-workers and their partners. He recently got a promotion at work and his friends over there were asking for a treat. I'm South Asian, Bangladeshi, and sometimes when I have leftovers from some of the traditional dishes I cook, I pack it for his lunch. Apparently many of his co-workers liked the smell and look of his food and some even tried it and liked it. So when I asked him if we should just invite them at his place where I would cook some traditional dinner, he got excited and said yes. He gave me a heads up that 2 of them are vegetarian. For dinner, I cooked white rice, tomato chutney, mashed potatoes, spinach, onion fritters, fried eggplants, Chinese vegetables, spicy egg curry, chicken curry, lentils with green mango. For dessert, I made gajar halwa, carrot-based pudding. I also served veg strips, snack and beverages before dinner as an evening snack. All of them seemed to love my cooking and kept complimenting me throughout the night. They also asked me many questions about the ingredients and what is the best way to eat each of them, and I was happy to answer those. After they all left, my boyfriend started ranting. What was that all about? I got very confused and apparently when he assumed I was gonna cook traditional meals, He thought it would be more like what they serve at the weddings: biryani, chicken roast, spicy beef curry, kebab, fried fish, and other type of veggie dishes. He thought what we served was not up to the standards, especially when guests are over. I argued that most of my dishes were vegetarian friendly, and these are comfort food, which are also quite tasty since they were all seasoned properly and made from scratch. He keeps saying that he should have just taken them to a restaurant and that I'm lucky none of them are Indian or something. Otherwise, they'd be able to tell that we just fed them grass. I was very hurt by that comment since I put a very high effort into all of that cooking when I don't even live there. I want some fresh outside perspective. Am I the a-hole for not cooking a Western enough meal when having guests over? I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel or posts.